Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to take you through the things that I made in 2025. I actually thought I'd made more than I had, but I think sometimes I'm working so hard on patterns and samples, but they don't necessarily count as final products or garments. So it can be a little bit confusing. We have a lovely snowy day today, so I'm really excited. We're still in January, so I feel it's okay to still video this and post it to share with you. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the things that I did make this year. So to start with, I'm trying to remember where I started. In January of 2025, we went to Morocco for a holiday, and I knew that I would need some things to wear because I hadn't got much of a summer wardrobe. And so I actually started these in December of 2024, but I only finished them in January right before we left. These are the Nini culottes from Named Patterns. They're very crimpled. I decided that I was not going to take the time to iron everything just to put it back in my drawers and then re-iron it when I needed to wear it. So I'm afraid this is what you're looking at. This was a free pattern from the Fold line during their 12 Days of Christmas, I think it's called, in December 2024. And I got it because it was free. I wasn't sure initially whether it would work for me because there was a lot of fabric, and I don't like to wear a lot of fabric on my lower half. I find that it kind of swamps me. But I decided that I would make a short version, and I found these really comfortable. I think I wore them once or twice in Morocco, but I wore them quite a lot in the summer. Initially, I was quite against them because they're big and poofy. There's a lot of volume. I'll insert some clips of me trying them on so you can see how poofy they are. But they've got nice big, I don't remember if the pattern came with pockets or if I installed them separately. One thing to note is the waistband, I didn't have the right elastic. So I actually threaded through, I created like 2 channels and threaded through, my mum would call it knicker elastic, but the narrow like 4 or 5 mil width elastic. So there's 2 pieces in there. But I left the side seam open so that I have been able to pull them through and either release it to make it bigger or tighten it as my body has changed over the course of the last year. Some months I found that they were too tight and other months too loose. So that's allowed me a bit of flexibility. One thing that I want to do with them before I next wear them this summer is actually sew down the pocket, because I made the pockets really long so I could fit my phone in. They flap about quite a lot. You can see them here. Not so much when you're wearing them as is, but if you've got something in, they do weigh it down. So I want to iron them and then just top stitch the pocket edge to the front so that it will be more of a design detail. But this was actually a surprise win for this year, 2025. Another item that I made to go with that was, and from the same linen, I thought it would make a nice 2-piece set, was the block tee from, I think it's Paper Theory Patterns, but I'll double check that. Initially, I was really excited about this. It's got quite sharp angles. And again, I think this was another free pattern from the Fold line, maybe that year or the year before. And by that, I mean like December 23 or 24. If you're not on the Fold line's email list, you probably should get on it, because every December they send out a bunch of different offers and some of them are free patterns. And it's just a way to try something before you like spend money on that brand. Because obviously every sewing pattern designer has their own like house fit, their house block. Similar to like if you go to a fashion store, some stores will fit you, some brands will, and some won't. And it's because their house model, their fit model, and what their target demographic is. So I've never made a Paper Theory Patterns before, or a named. I do have some named patterns, but I'd never made one up. So this was an interesting one for me. I have an issue with my neck thyroid area. So initially I was really excited about this and then pulled it on and I'm like, it's that far too high. So I ended up cutting it down the middle. That was towards the end of the summer, just wearing it as like a little light linen jackety thing on the evenings. What I want to do for this summer is I will add some ties so that it can be tied up, like rouleau tie type things. Yeah, but it's a sweet little thing. It's very crumpled. I forget that linen actually crumples quite a lot. The next thing I made was actually a sample. I'll just show it to you now. This is my Hawthorn hip bag, which I mostly wear like this at the moment. I made it from leather remnants, a exposed zipper, of course, and then the lining is also, it's the leftover from a lining that I did on a Modo jacket the year before. But yeah, so this is a pattern that's coming soon. It should be out in the next few weeks. I love it. I use it all the time. It's constantly on me. If I'm going out the house and I don't need a big bag, this is the one that I've got. I have intended it to be worn, I'll show it to you quickly, as a hip bag. That was the original intent. And of course the strap can be shortened accordingly. And it's, yeah, I mean, I don't use it this way very often. Oh, there's a mint inside. That's from when we went to dinner. I don't know if you can see that down there because of the way I've got the camera shot. I'll have to insert footage if not. But it's super comfy. It's shaped to fit the hip. A lot of bags and hip bags are actually a straight back and they end up pulling in a funny way, I found. So I did a lot of paper maquettes to engineer this so that it sits nicely on the curve of the hip. But also if you've got a bit of a tummy like me, it'll sit on your tummy as well. And yeah, I love it. I wear it a lot, as I already said. Initially, it was because I wanted a little art pack, something to put like a sketchbook and some pencils in when I was going out the house, but I use it for pretty much everything else. I had to sew it on my old Singer sewing machine because it was hard to get my regular Benina to handle the leather. But that's definitely one of my favorite things from 2025. Okay, next up, we were going to, there's a lot of stuff here that I don't have. My eldest niece had a child of her own in February, and so I made a lot of baby things. I will put those things on screen because I don't have them because I gave them to her. So the first thing that I made for her was a cute little sun hat so that she could go out. No, actually, that's not true. The first thing I made for her was a newborn onesie, and I have a free pattern for that. I'll link it in the description. It's a newborn onesie. So I made a couple of those from my mum's t-shirts. I knew that Holly, my niece, would appreciate having something from her nana for her baby. Sorry, that's really complicated. And so I made a couple of those for her, and by the time baby M got them, they were a little bit too small. She did get to wear them once or twice, but that's the problem when you live in a foreign country and you have to post stuff. So that was two items actually, because it was a newborn onesie and a t-shirt. Then I made a baby romper, and that still might actually be here. I made it for baby M, but I hadn't got the poppers on, and I didn't have the right kind of poppers, and so by the time I did, it was too small for her. It's very sweet, but I made that from the sleeves. So it was a refashion project. Made it from the sleeves of the top. I had a sheared top that was like a cotton eyelet fabric. I really liked it. Didn't look good on me, so I took the sleeves off and I made the baby romper from that, and then the pattern for that will be coming soon as well, actually. See, lots of things I've been testing. And then the actual bodice part I made into a sheared top with some straps, and that's at my dad's because I didn't bring it back because we're in the dead of winter. So I left that there in August and I haven't brought it back. So, and then I think there's one other thing that I made as well during the summer for the baby, and that was a weighted baby bear. Again, I don't have it with me. That was fun. I had to use the baby's old baby grows to cut the pieces out, and then I stuffed it with some of that as well as some special weight that's baby safe. And then the next project was a swimsuit. I made the Sunstar swimsuit from Helen's Closet. This was the second iteration. I had made a version the year before out of a not as stretchy fabric. I had some fabric in my stash and I was like, oh, I'll make that. And it was like an olive green, and it was not a good fit because the fabric didn't have enough stretch. So I ordered this pink, and I think there was a white version as well. This is the white on the inside, but I didn't have enough for the white version. So we just have the pink, and I actually hacked the pattern so I could have a ruffle at the front. And I really enjoyed wearing this. It was comfortable. It's good coverage on the bottom and front area. And then it has a wrap-esque top. I did find the wrap a little bit, I think because of the way it's caught into the seam, kind of drags a little bit in an uncomfortable way, but I mean, it worked. I was able to go swimming on holiday, which I haven't done for years because I have quite a long torso, so finding a swimsuit that fits me is really hard work, and I get irritated in changing rooms and trying stuff on. So this actually worked for me, and yeah, I'll probably make another one, but I might hack the patterns so that I don't have this situation in future. At the same time, for that holiday, we were going to Zealand, not New Zealand, like down under, but actually Zealand in the Netherlands. It's like a little area of the Netherlands in the south. Very pretty. And so I wanted something like light and loose that I could walk around in as well. And I made this linty, which I purchased from Elizabeth I can't remember her surname, but she has sewing patterns and actual products that you can purchase as well. And again, this is a rayon, not a linen. It's crumpled because it's been in my drawer because I put my summer stuff away. And I'm sorry I'm not ironing it just to show you because it's going to go back in the drawer until the summer. But this was super comfy. It was a lot bigger than I thought it would be initially. Thankfully, I didn't pre-shrink my fabric. But don't do that. You should pre-shrink your fabric. But it sits like just below my belly line. It's super loose, super comfy, super airy in the summer. And I paired it with the Nini culottes shorts version that I made. The color worked really well. That was such a great combination. And yeah, I might make another one at some point. I like the fact that there's no like real sleeve detail. It's not a satin sleeve or a raglan sleeve. It is just an extended sleeve, super light, loose and comfy, and it was a winner. I highly recommend this pattern. Then another sample that I had made, this is another pattern that will be coming soon. These are my cheeky shorts, and I wanted something that was a little bit like cheeky, a little bit higher, so that they could be worn like a sleep short as well. Depends on how like brave you are to go out with a little bit of bum cheek showing, I guess. But I wanted something that was like kind of short and cheeky and flirty. And so this is based upon, I've got a pattern for joggers that I had made in 2023. And so this is based off of that, which I hacked. So it's my original drafted pattern, which I've then hacked into this. And this should be coming out soon, probably by spring as a pattern. But these are super cute. The next project was more of a not even a refashion, but this is one of my mom's denim dresses and I loved it, but it was really long. I've actually got a video almost finished editing, I think. I just need to put one final clip in. But this, I wanted to shorten the length of it so it was more wearable. And I did that and I like it. I haven't worn it because then we were away and then it was cold. So again, it needs an iron, but it's something that I can now wear. So I'm looking forward to, I can probably drag that out in the spring actually, because I think by the summer it'll be too heavy for me because I feel the heat a lot at the moment. And then if you've been around here very often, you will have known that I am getting married this year, and last year I started working on what's going to be my bridal outfit, I guess. This is the toile, the first toile, second toile, first toile, which it's a little bit all over the place. I've taken the bonings out because I had to adjust the pattern, and then I've tweaked the pattern, and now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, whether it's going to be turned into the kind of like the base layer for a denim version. I have pulled apart some jeans and I want to develop that, but that's the 2026 project. This was 2025 and I was happy with how this fit. If I've got video footage, I'm not sure if I do, I'll insert it, but I definitely have a photo. So I'll put a photo clip up for you. But that was also last year. That was the tail end, I think like November time, maybe October. I think it was November. Oh, before we go there, and I think it was October, I also finished the walnut pattern, which is basically, I call it the walnut slouch pouch because it's quite slouchy. I have since made a new version. Let me grab that. So the original version is really slouchy and I wanted it to, I mean, in a few weeks I'm going to be going to Amsterdam and I don't want to take a massive bag with me, but I'm going to be there for a couple of nights, and actually I can fit a couple of days worth of clothing in here, like a pair of trousers, a couple of t-shirts, underwear. I can fit them in there. So this is a lot of things that I create patterns for come from my need for them rather than anyone else's need, but thankfully they then take off. So this is the walnut slouch pouch. It's very slouchy. You can make it from a lightweight fabric. You can make it from a ripstop fabric, like a packing cube fabric. This currently, at this point, I'm gonna have to make a new one because it's got stains on it. I've taken to using it for my pencil case because I'm a novice artist / illustrator as well. And I've got all these pencils, watercolor markers that are in here. These are my go-to ones that I take out and about if we're going for a wander or whatnot, and I just use them. I also have a friend that quite likes that, and I thought I'd make them a small version, but to test the small size and add that into the pattern. This is a recent make, so it doesn't count as 2025, but this is a slightly more structured version at 70% scale, which is really sweet and would make a lovely little, which I'm going to be using this one for, a little makeup pouch or a cable pouch, something like that. If there are patterns available, I will link them down in the description, and if you're watching this after later in 2026, a lot of the patterns will be available by then. And then I think earlier in the summer I'd also made a DIY pencil case, which doesn't have a pattern, but I do have a tutorial on my blog, and this is literally so that I can have my paint palette. It also has like a couple of travel paint brushes, and it has a towel for wiping my brush off, and I keep that here. And this also fits in the walnut slouch pouch, but I can also put that in my bag with a sketchbook if I want. Again, things that help me in my day-to-day life. So that's the last of the kind of like accessory things that I made last year. In early December, I made this is a sample, the third sample. I think I've almost got it. I just need to do one more thing to perfect the pattern, get people to test it. But this is like a wrap top. I'm calling it the Reese Wrap, and it's comfy and it's long, so it covers my tummy. It's just a little bit, I need to add a little bit more ease because this is the perfect kind of fabric, but it doesn't have the right amount of stretch factor. So I need to add a little bit more ease into certain areas of the pattern. Test it again. But I love a wrap top, and I don't mind a knit wrap top. There's very few knit things I wear, but a knit wrap top is quite comfy. And it can be lengthened into a wrap dress as well. And I will be including that in the pattern instructions, but this will be out probably, I think this one's due for like early summer in my schedule. So stay tuned for that, but yeah, that's a gorgeous pattern. And then the very last thing is actually there's another thing, but I don't have it here. Okay, so this is technically the last thing. This is the Fen shirt. Yes, I had to think about, yes, this is the Fen shirt. So there's a company, I don't think you are able to get the patterns as PDFs anymore, but Pattern Fantastique, which is in Australia, have the Fen shirt. And I took this is the toile, because I wanted to check the fit, and I hacked it for my creative dressmaking membership to show my members how to use a base shirt pattern and get really creative with it. The final one is in red linen. It's got lots of tucks and wiggly lines, and it's divine. And yeah, I can't show you that because I think it must be in the wash. Sorry. If I find it out before this goes live, I'll insert some video footage. But it's a nice poofy kind of shirt to wear tucked in. It would be lovely in the summer as well, tucked into shorts, jeans. It's cute. And this was the testing toile to make sure that it fit. I don't do toiles for lots of things, but if it's a sewing pattern from somebody else, I try it. And it's, if I'm not sure about the sizing or the brand, I sometimes then will do a toile just to make sure, especially for my creative dressmaking membership, because I need to show them the whole fitting process as well. So that is everything I made in 2025 that I can find and remember. I have started a list for 2026 already because I've made a couple of things already. I don't want to forget next year, so I might record clips of those as I'm going, just so that I've got that footage, because I also made something special for my niece, my great niece, who will be 1 in February, and I haven't got that here now. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If there's anything you're excited to make this year, I'd love to hear about it from your perspective. Like, what projects have you got in line? And I will see you next week, hopefully with another video. Take care. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.